Wait, which ones? Two of them are dead now. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So there was an article. Let me actually crack it up here. That Apple had to deal with. Okay, so back in the day when the iPod Shuffle came out, this is going back a ways now. This is maybe even more than 5 years ago. People started complaining that the iPod Shuffle was not random enough. They started making the complaint that they were hearing too many of a certain song. And the first thing I thought of course, was that probably means it is being random enough because you're getting clumps of artists, and if you weren't getting clumps of artists, then I would think something was being less than obviously random. So if you check out just how random is random, starting to repeat yourself, no surprise. In practice, many series of random numbers are far less random than you would think. Well, the problem is, that's a loaded statement. Far less random than you would think. Who's reading this article? Probably an ordinary person that hasn't been trained statistically. A randomly, normally selected person like that is not going to understand what randomness should look like, right? They're not going to have the idea to go 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1. I mean, when I take Total Fit with Jenny Cruikshank and she calls 3, 2, 1 push-ups, I've never heard her repeat a number once in 10 years of taking the class. 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3. I start calling out 1, 1, 1. She gets pissed off, makes me leave. That's what randomness should look like. You should get those kinds of clumps and repeats. You shouldn't get them all spaced out like that. So anyway, you can see how popular this was. I mean, this was very, very fun. If your iPod is random, and how to fix it. So now all of a sudden we're making decisions that it should be fixed. Well, time out, right? Time out. Let's see if they actually are broken in the first place. So this is something, like I said, the iPod, or Apple actually dealt with. They actually changed their algorithm to make it less random, to make people happy. So in other words, they spread the clumps out. They didn't allow for a clump. In other words, it was no longer independent coin flips. Imagine you've got a 10-song playlist on your iPod, which is very small, but just make the numbers manageable. 10-song playlist. If you were in my 243 class, your project number 3 had you dealing with this. It said, press F9. Did you get a shuffle that contained each song exactly one time? And how often does that happen? And David shaking his head, no, not very often. Good, sir. Very good. Thank you. You shouldn't get, if you play 10 songs, and you have 10 songs in your iPod, and you shuffle it, if you randomize it, not shuffle, if you randomize it, you should get some repeats in there. More often than you don't get repeats. So what Apple essentially did was go in and turn that on its head and say, now we're going to get fewer repeats than having the clumps that we should have. And what they did, they had to do that by making it conditional. It's no longer flipping a 10-sided coin. It's flipping a 10-sided coin, marking what side you got, then removing that likelihood from the next flip. That's what they had to build an algorithm around to make people happy. Now that pissed me off. Because it isn't random anymore. Sean!
It only pissed you off because you're a stats teacher. The perception to the public and the people that brought the lawsuit is the fact that
you're pre-law,
it's not
right?
random,
Please tell
it's
me
shuffling.
more.
What's that?
Please tell me you're pre-law. It'd be so awesome.
It's not shuffling and random is two completely different things.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And the fact that it was randomizing correctly and people are arguing that it wasn't random is
misguided. Yes.
It's misguided. And shuffling is what we all really want because we have the ability to repeat a song if we want to with a button.
Brother, thank you for that. That was perfectly said. So what I did was I want to look at what Sean just said twice. So did you hear what he said when he said shuffling is different than randomizing? So what I did, take a look. Unfortunately, the way this is configured, I can't have this on the screen while I'm playing the music. So take a look. There'll be a quiz on this later. 10 musical groups. Pat Benatar, Refused, Anthrax, Public Enemy, Billy Bragg, Queen, Iron Maiden, Sweet Pants, Billy Idol, NoFX, Social Distortion, Run DMC. Remember that? Okay, here we go.
Only a handful of us remember that.
That's okay. Showing my age a little bit.
Like Frank Sinatra and Louis Armstrong.
I had to pick randomly from the songs I had in my hard drive, and these 10 came up. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Now here's the playlist. I have 10 songs, one from each of those groups. I'm going to hit shuffle. Shuffle playlist. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Playlist. Here we go. Back out. Shuffle. No offense. It's only 10 seconds for each song. Talk to me about it. That's refused. Anthrax or DMC. I blame corn on these guys. Billy Bragg. What haven't we got yet? Well, Billy Idol, so it's us. I was gonna say mathematical question. We haven't got a repeat yet. We haven't got social distortion yet. There's social distortion. Well, not a repeat though. No repeat yet though, huh? No repeat. Who's left? We just unfortunately celebrated the, I think it was its 20th.
Was your son Mr. Howard?
Yeah, with the jacket. There Benazar. There she is. Who's left? Maiden. Well, Motorfest is first.
Oh, really?
We might hear it again. Maybe. Maiden and... What's that counter wrong? Is there one more?
Yeah.
Run DMC. That's it. Okay. Now let's see. Name the song they sample this. Okay, no,
Right?
say that again?
Or no,
It's My Sharona.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Wonderful. Those guys were kings of sampling. Kings. Rest in peace. So 10 songs, and then it repeated itself. I have it on repeat playlist for my commutes. So that's a shuffle. Now I love the fact that they call it shuffle and not random. Because what does shuffle make you think of? A deck of cards. You have 10 cards, you shuffle them, and then you deal them out one at a time without replacement. Correct? Without replacement. So you get one, then you go back in and you can't get that one again. That's what Sean was talking about, the difference between shuffling and randomizing. So what we just saw was actually a not very random playlist of 10. If you were to re-randomize the iPod every single time, so play a song, then re-randomize, then play a song, then re-randomize, you're breaking that shuffle and truly treating it as random. So what I'd like to do next, and I'm going to need help for this one. I need somebody to come up here. I think I have it set up right. Let me just check. Yes. I need somebody to come up here and do this while I keep track of the songs that are being played. Make sense? I'm going to collect the data, then we're going to analyze it. So I can't do both because I'll hurt myself.
What are you just hitting the shuffle button over and over? Is that what you're doing?
Well, if you shake it, you're re-randomizing the playlist again. In other words, you're taking the shuffle
You're
out.
just using the shake.
You're making it a pure coin flip. I think that's what I want to test is I want to test to see if that reinstitutes the randomness. Because my claim is that the iPod Shuffle that they fixed was just the shuffle feature, not the randomizer itself. Your point is well taken, Sean. There's a difference.
Shuffle.
Say that again?
They call it shuffle, though.
Correct.
They call it randomizer.
No, that's what I'm saying. But there has to be a randomizer in there, correct? Because you're getting a random shuffle.
So you're saying if it randomizes every time that
Yes, that's what I want to test. And the only way to test it is to interrupt the shuffle as it's happening and make it start again.
Start the randomizer. every
Right.
time you read
Flip, flip, flip. And that's what I need Brandon to do while I'm keeping track because I can't click with one hand and shake with the other because I'm me. Cool? Make sense? Does that make
I
sense?
don't think they waste memory, the CPU memory on that. So.
Well, it shouldn't take much memory. That's the thing. It shouldn't take much memory.
Or keep what you, to know that to do it without replacement the next time you turn it.
That's the thing. No, that's the thing. The thing is it would take less memory because it's purely random and not conditionally random. That's my point.
I think it's.
Good. So I want to see if it's actually, if it looks like that's what's happening. So what I'm going to do, turn this off because we don't need to listen.